Okay. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning to all of you. Arnon is finally in the house. It's been a very interesting day. So let's give everyone a moment to join. We've got Facebook in the house, and we are live on Instagram as well. So for those of you that watch me on a weekly basis, and let me just say hello to a few people here. For those of you who catch me and come visit me every week to get a Wednesday, a Words of Wisdom Wednesday with Arnon, you know that normally we do these sessions a little bit earlier, so I apologize. I apologize to all of you. It's been a crazy day, a busy day, a lot's going on, but we are here. And I've got some great value to share with all of you. I've got some great words of wisdom and some lessons to share with all my fellow entrepreneurs, business owners, business leaders, and people, all of you out there, from a very painful experience that I had experienced a couple of weeks ago. So we're going to dive right in. And today's topic is how I lost a multi-million pound business, okay? How I lost a multi-million pound deal, okay? How I lost a multi-million pound deal. So let me just give you guys a little bit of a background. I know a lot of you know me. Some of you are new at following me. So first of all, let me welcome all of you to this session. And Timo, good to see you. Good to see you guys. So a little bit of a background on me, right? I've been an entrepreneur for many years, as I'm sure you all can see, right? I've built businesses, I've owned businesses, I've sold businesses, I've acquired businesses, I've merged businesses, I've grown businesses, I've closed businesses. So I've been an entrepreneur for quite some time now. In fact, my first business I started just over 30 years ago. So I've got a little bit of experience in the space, right? Nowadays, the way I spend my time in the business world, if you will, is I have a company that we focus on M&A, mergers and acquisitions. So we do mergers and acquisitions, where basically what we do is we acquire companies. So my company buys other companies, and our focus is to actually acquire 22 companies in total, and there's a whole strategy behind it. And I'm not going to bore you with those details, but long story short, in my company, in this investment consortium group, right? That's what we are. We're an investment consortium group. My role, one of my main roles as one of the co-founders, is to spearhead and to lead the deal team and to lead the acquisition team. So I identify, and that's from identification all the way until closing and shaking hands with the sellers of whom we've bought the business from, right? So myself and all my co-founders and our team play very important roles. My role is the deal side, the acquisition side. So now these are multi-million pound businesses. They're based in the UK, and I've been doing this for a few good years now, and we've had a lot of success, but we've had a lot of lessons as well. Okay, and so today I want to open up and I want to share with you some of the lessons that I just received about a couple of weeks ago. Okay, so this is an opportunity for all of you entrepreneurs and business owners to widen your mind, open your mind to understand that growing your business, it doesn't only have to be the traditional way. A lot of business owners, when they grow their business, the first thing they think about is I have to go out and I have to take more market share. Now, that's one way of growing a business. Another way of growing a business is to simply buy market share, right? So I buy market share, okay? Yeah, I still will grow the businesses, but today I don't focus on growing businesses necessarily and exclusively. I focus on buying other companies and adding them to an existing business, which is called a bolt-on, and then I grow that. So I'm buying revenue, I'm buying clients, I'm buying profitability, I'm buying a team, I'm buying products, I'm buying services, I'm buying, the name, the brand. That's what I focus on today. So now you know the whole picture, or you know the background story. So I've been working on a deal for about 6-7 months, yeah? And obviously during COVID, it's a little bit more difficult to do deals because of the due diligence process. There was the whole social distancing aspect, and, people not allowed to come to the office, work from home. So it's been a struggle to do a normal due diligence activity in acquisitions, in buying a new company, right? Long story short, a deal was brought to my table by someone that I work with that brings me deals on a consistent basis. He brings me deal flow. It's called deal flow. And I was looking at a deal. We liked the numbers. We liked the business. We liked what we saw, what we heard. And we started the negotiation process with the owner, the seller. And we met face to face. We flew in. We shook hands. It felt good. There was a good energy. We liked the team. We liked the leadership. And we really felt that we could complement each other. Now, this seller is an elderly gentleman. And when I say elderly, he's pushing around 70 years old. And he's been in this business for many years, 20, 30, more than 30 years. And he was selling because he wanted to wind down. He wasn't getting any younger. And that's why we were introduced to the seller. So he was the seller, we were the buyer. Long story short, we've gone through the negotiations. We drafted a letter of intent, also known as a heads of terms, where both parties pretty much agree on what the price is going to be, how the structure of the pricing or the payment's going to be, writing in there some important elements of how we see the deal at the moment. That's relating to the team, that's relating to the premises, the property that in this case, they own the property. So there was a few elements that needs to be taken into consideration when buying a company. And it's not only the due diligence, but for this example, it was also drafting, writing, and getting correct, based on agreement, the letter of intent. Okay, the LOI. So we write the LOI, we're going to do the due diligence. The LOI was signed by the owner. Now you need to understand something. When you sign a letter of intent, when you sign a heads of terms with a seller, it's not a contract to buy. All it is it says that these are the things that we agree on, and these are the terms that we're going to use to actually draft the real purchase agreement on. Okay, so it's not binding. Okay, it's a preliminary agreement, if that makes sense. Okay, long story short, we drafted a letter of intent. He signed it and sent it back. And in the meantime, it was the summer holidays. The seller went on a holiday for a couple of weeks as well with his wife. And so things got delayed in terms of the due diligence period and to sealing and closing the deal. Long story short, and I will make it short now, we had agreed everything. And then the seller came back to us and he said, "Hey guys, I want to change this and that element in the agreement because I'm not feeling this is satisfying my need, or this is not giving me what I need to achieve here." Fine, no problem. We're very open. It can happen. I'm a very communicative person when I do business. I like to communicate clearly, but I also put a very big emphasis on building relationships. Because at the end of the day, businesses will come and go. What's important is the relationships that we establish, right? So I'm the relationship guy. In my company, my co-founders, my business partners, my shareholders, my board know that I am predominantly the relationship guy, okay? So I promote communications. Long story short, the seller came back to me and said, yeah, I'm not happy with the deal. I need to tweak and change one or two things here. So for me, I get a little bit iffy when I hear that stuff because that's basically a seller saying, I'm moving the goalposts. But okay, no problem. Now remember, we've done our due diligence. So we've spent tens and tens and tens, if not hundreds of hours from a financial perspective, from a legal perspective, from a GDPR, from an IT, from an HR, from a personnel, from a leadership perspective, checking out all these departments in the business, right? But he wants to renegotiate, or he wants to move, as I say, move the goalposts. Great. We get on a call, we talk about it. He says, listen, in order for this deal to work, I need to tweak and change one or two things. I spoke to him about it. I explained to him our perspective, and we indeed found the middle ground. Or what I thought was the middle ground. Sent him the updated letter of intent to sign it so we can pursue really going into a purchase agreement. So this is now the second letter of intent. Anyways, what happened is that he saw the letter of intent and he came back to us and he said, guys, it's just not going to work for me. Now, please understand, by this time, I'm 6-7 months in the deal. I've invested tens, if not hundreds of hours. My executives, my CEO, my CFO, my lawyers, the team, myself, my co-founders, our partners, we've invested hundreds of hours on the deal. We've put in time, energy, resources on the due diligence, but on this process. And now he turns around and he says, guys, I can't do the deal because I can make more money if I just stay in the business for 2 more years, 2 or 3 years. And here's the lesson. This gentleman made a decision. Remember, he's 70 years old. And he said to us, listen, Arnon, he's been approached by many other buyers in the past. He said, listen, if I was to do a deal, you're the only person I would do a deal with. You and your group, your team, you guys are just great guys. You're gentlemen, and I really enjoy work. But so I would only do a deal with you guys. But he couldn't do the deal based on what we agreed. He wanted more money. Now, here's the lesson. Yes, I buy companies. Yes, I buy businesses. Yes, I do acquisitions. Yes, I'm taking the company to over 100 million. That's not important. What is important when you do business, my friends, and this is something that I've learned the hard way. And here's the lesson. Every time, and I said this to him, I said, you're making this decision based on money. And from my experience, whenever I have made a decision exclusively and solely because of money, it was the wrong decision. And in fact, it ended up being the bad decision. And so the reason why I share this with you guys is because very simply, don't make decisions solely and exclusively about money. Focus on where you want to go. Focus on who you are. Focus on what is important for you today, tomorrow, next week. Now, here's the interesting thing. I sent him an email to thank him. Again, very polite, keep the door open. That's one thing as well. A lot of people get pissed off at the end of that, right? They'll go through that entire process and rightfully would get pissed off. They'd get upset. Oh, you wasted our time and this, which, by the way, I told him. I said to him, listen, to be honest, I feel that you've wasted our time because you knew this 3 months ago. You knew this 6 months ago. And I'm sitting here after all this time, all this energy, and all this commitment that I put in the deal. Now you're coming back and you're saying, well, I could make the same money or more money in 2 or 3 years if I don't sell. I said to him, look, you knew this before. And so here's the interesting thing. I have no doubt that in 2 or 3 years, this gentleman, if he's still alive, and I hope he is, because he's elderly and he's not in great shape. He's not in great shape. But I have no doubt that in 2 or 3 years he will come knocking on my door again. And that's okay, right? I have no ego. I have no ego about it. I'm not over emotional about it. And this is also a thing. Never get over attached to a deal. Never get over attached to a situation, because over attachment equals pain in the long run. Okay. So long story short, we didn't do the deal. It didn't go through. It didn't happen, but I left the door open. And so this is how I lost a multi-million pound deal, a multi-million pound acquisition. And we were so close. All we needed him was to sign that paper, because that means that mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, and financially, he had accepted that this is what it's going to look like moving forward. And so another lesson here is sometimes you can do all the work and you can be one signature away from completing the deal. And now the question is, we've lost the deal. The deal is not on the table. It's off. There is no deal now. Now the key question is, how do I respond? Do I go into victim mode, or do I step into my power? And a lot of people will allow their emotions to get to them. They'll be angry, they'll be pissed off, they'll be frustrated, they'll be, they'll have all this ball or bundle of negative energy, and it will actually cost you, it will cost me, it will cost them more stress, more pain, more worry, and more irritation. What I am doing, and this is just me, I am using this as a great opportunity for me to learn how to do deals better, be more effective, more efficient, and close potentially quicker. But most importantly, also to do my due diligence with a seller to make sure that they understand even more or even clearer from the beginning what the deal is looking like and if they could live with it. So I was already clear about that, but I always look, when these situations happen, it's easy to look outside. Oh, he was an idiot. Oh, he didn't know what he was talking about. Oh, she was this or she was that. No. The first thing we want to do is always look inside. We want to look inside ourselves. And we want to ask ourselves the question, what could I have done better? Where could I have improved? Where did I drop the ball? Where did I make the mistake? Where can I learn? Where can I grow? What advice or feedback do I need to get better? What book do I need to read? So it's always powerful to look inside. Now, in the grand scheme of things, do you think that this deal makes any difference to me? I mean, of course, it would be nice if we did the acquisition and we ended up acquiring this business and we put it into my company. We if it was a part of the business, yeah, of course, it would have been nice. It was a good business. But here's the thing, it doesn't change anything. And this is where mindset is key. Because most people will allow a situation like this to bring them down or anchor them to a point where they're stuck. And so I'm telling you, when things like this happen, you can decide, is this going to make me or is this going to break me? And I like to use these situations like jet fuel. I use these situations to accelerate myself. I use that anger, because there's a little bit of anger, like, oh man, seriously? To use that anger, to use that energy to push me even further, even faster, and again, to improve myself. So that, my friends, is how I lost a multi-million pound business. But we're still in the race, strong, probably stronger than ever, right? Mindset is everything. And so I just wanted to come to you guys today with a little bit of a different energy. A lot of you here, I'm just going to say hello to a few of you. I just wanted to come to you today with a little bit of a different energy so that you could understand that in business there's ups and downs. And here Inga Borg says, my experience is I only make deals with the right human. And that is so great. Thank you for sharing that. Because guys, let me say this. I always say this to my co-founders, my investors, my shareholders, my board. Always remember, in life, you cannot do a good deal with a bad person. Yeah, but I want to do the deal. Stop. You can't do a good deal with a bad person. Now, in this case, he wasn't a bad person, but just remember that you can't do a good deal with a bad person. So, guys, I hope you got value today. Again, apologies for being a little bit late. I've been back-to-back in meetings. Next week, same time, same place. Actually, no, same place, not the same time. We'll go back to the old schedule. I want to wish you a great day, sending you all a lot of power, a lot of passion. And remember one thing, be kind. Be kind. Till next week, ciao.